Hi. So I was just in the car driving, and I was thinking about how you and I always open our shows, and I always go with "What is happening, crew? You are back." My dad goes with "Hello, good morning. You are back live with the crew. Hello, hello, Dad. Good to see you,
Yeah. How's it going? How you doing?
man. Great. All of a
How's your
sudden,
morning?
so good. I got a little. I ate breakfast for the first time in a while, and
Okay.
went for a drive through the valley and had a little caffeine. So really good. How about you?
Fantastic. I'm three nights into my sauna treatments. So I'm
Oh,
really yeah, yeah.
beautiful.
It's a it's a real slice of heaven. It really is. Um,
Hmm.
there's just something about it. No, all day long, especially in the winter. Obviously, it's like you kind of get chilled. You're working outdoors and stuff, and you think, "Oh, I'm going to be in my warm spot later." It's really cool. And I am gonna shoot. I've shot a bunch of video all along the way of building it, so I'm gonna splice all that together and make a video out of it one day.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's fun. I love my sauna.
Show
Love it.
show us
And
how
I'm just
Alan and the Swedes do it.
yeah, and I'm just blessed that I'm married to a woman that loves it, and so it's a mutual respect that we have for that tool on this property, if you will.
Hmm.
It's so much fun. Love it. Yeah. We're meant to go to the park yesterday. The weather is absolutely perfect here. And we meant to
Yeah.
go to the park yesterday. We got busy doing a bunch of other stuff. So hopefully after the show today, we're going to Sequoia National Park. And I don't know, shoot a little short from up there or something. I don't know.
Awesome.
We've been trying to go every week, but so there's no snow up there right now, or
Hmm.
most of it's melted out. So that's good stuff.
Just real quick, Dad. Want to say hi to Evan, Becky, Bobby, Johnny, Muddy, Codeman, Brittany, Christy, Luke, Brandon, our Solar Sam, Frankie. Good to have you. Tomato Pete in the house. We got brother, aka the secret weapon. We got the Wayner in
Yeah,
here. Wow. Thanks for joining us,
we got
everybody.
Mr. Wayne.
Mr.
Yep,
Wayne.
got Pete. Pete's in the house too. Don't forget Pete and
Mask
Wayne.
off, baby. Mask off. Trinidaddy, what it is.
Yeah,
Love you
Trinity's
guys,
always
man.
around.
Love you. Happy Sunday.
Yeah, we we have I have some God, I have so many things I want to talk about when it comes to Vegas, but it's way out in May, so I really probably shouldn't even be talking about it right yet. But those of you who are going to Rob 007, XRP 007's event in Sarasota area, I'm 90% sure I'm going. People keep texting me. I'm like, I had a conflict that I'm moving. I was going to pull the boat out of the water that weekend or that
Oh,
week.
wow.
So I'm going to try and move that and try and go. But I'm going to try and make it. Yeah. I hear there's going to be 500 people there. I was like, oh, I don't think I should miss that.
Wow.
500
No.
people in XRP. So
Dude, that's
I
awesome.
I booked our booth yesterday for the XRP show in Vegas. Boom, done. We
Done.
will have a booth.
Ooh.
And if you're going to be at the show, I know you will stop by and check out our booth. And we don't have anything for sale. Nope. Just smiles and a conversation. That's all we got to offer.
We got to show up with something, man. We got to show up with something, Dad. We got to cook on that.
You think?
Yeah, we need something for the crew, man. We're the only two clowns that wear hats. Maybe it'll be hats.
Yeah.
You know, everybody needs a good lid.
I know. I'm designing a new hat.
So. Yeah, that has been in the discussions.
Yeah. This is the second generation.
Yeah, I love the logo. If anybody has any ideas on that, what they'd like to see or add, let's get them.
Yeah. We're so I got so many great ideas with the license plate thing, and that was really cool. Hopefully one or two of those is going to be available for me because I'm going to use them. Yeah.
Yeah. I like Firewalker a lot, Dad. Firewalker was good.
It was pretty good, huh?
It was good, dude. I had a good laugh.
Just because Steve named me that, and it's kind of yeah. To those of you who don't know the Firewalker story, I'm sure many of you do, but I went fishing with one of my best friends in life, and he and I fished every day together. And we were both fishing guides, and whenever we didn't have clients, we were fishing together. That's all we did, was fly fishing up in the mountains. And he and I took a trip, and he had a camper on the back of a truck, and I bought basically the identical truck, same color and everything, 3/4 ton, the whole thing. And Steve and I decided that it was appropriate that we start drinking Bloody Marys for breakfast, and because we're at the campsite, we had nothing to do but go fishing. Well, what are you going to do, right? So Bloody Marys were appropriate. And then I don't know, it turned into beer all day, and then later that evening we had a big bonfire going, and I've never been afraid of fire. I don't fear fire at all. I never have. Like I'll pick up a burning stick, and anyway.
So you're the one.
That's a long story. I've been burned a bunch of times, but it's like I always wanted to be a fireman. I trained for a long time to be a fireman, and so anyway. Don't get me started about fires. But anyway, so long story short, I was sitting around the campfire and completely intoxicated, and I said, I'm just going to walk right through that fire. Slowly, like not run through it or jump over it. I like walked right through the fire. And I got around the other side, and they're all like, everybody standing there is just like blown away. Like, dude, I don't believe you just did that. And I turned around and walked right back through the other side. It was a big fire. And I wasn't on fire or anything. I just sat down and started drinking beer again. And everybody just thought I was completely out of my mind, which I probably was quite intoxicated out of my mind. And the following day, the bottoms of my shoes looked like snowshoes because they had melted to the point where all the pine needles and sticks and stems had stuck to them. And they were like 10 inches around. There was like literally puddles of rubber underneath my shoes. And anyway. Yeah. So from that point forward, my nickname was Firewalker.
Firewalker.
So I was thinking about calling the truck Steve or Osterman, because Steve Osterman was the man's name who had the identical truck, but he used to always call me Firewalker. And then I thought, Fire WKR license plate. Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. Yeah. Maybe it's available. I don't know. And with that fun little story out of the way,
Alan is a maniac, Evan. It's true.
Yeah.
Let's throw this one up real quick, Dad.
What do you got?
And I've been following Cody's brother lives down in LA too. I've been following his stories. Prayers and good vibes being sent by everyone affected by the fires in Southern California. I've invited my aunt to come and stay at my house. My mom sent that out to her. If you can help and however we can help, let's do it. Yeah, man, prayers and blessings, and I hope they get a handle on it.
Yeah.
It's really bad, and it's really affecting the area that Alan and I once lived in the valley there. So, yeah, bummer. The part of LA that I really know and love is having a tough time right now.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's, man, I don't want to get completely off on this subject, but I mentioned this on my Thursday live show. I was listening to a guy who used to live in California and he moved to Texas. And he was way up the top of his high horse, way at the top of the high horse. And about 10 or 15 minutes into it, I was just like, I'm not listening to this guy anymore. Click. I can't stomach it any longer, because this man has decided that he is genius because he moved to Texas. And I was thinking to myself, and he's just bagging on all the peoples who are losing their homes and what a bunch of idiots. That's what you get for staying there. And it was his whole premise was really like, dude, don't test fate, my friend, because Texas, something could happen to your barn. You know what I mean? Be cool here. Try and be humble. Try and stay humble a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And he just went on, and I just shut it off. I was like, man, I like this guy's material. He's really, I find him to be intelligent and a great channel. And it led me down this path that I want to say. We don't need him in California. We don't need people. We don't need people without a backbone, without a pair, who run from tyranny or government or control. You're a quitter, dude. You're a loser. That's what I think of you. And now you sit back somewhere else and say, "Oh wow, man, I'm this great guy." Why didn't you stay and fight? Why didn't you help us make change? Why did you bail on your neighbors? That's kind of what I got out of it. And I know a lot of people don't like California. A lot of people don't. It's the greatest weather in state in the 50 states. I've lived in Florida for a long time. It's not better weather.
No.
I'm just saying this state is about half of the GDP of this nation. Okay? I think it's the fifth. If it were a nation, it's the fifth largest economic machine. You're just going to give that to the people you don't like? Why would you do that? Do you understand that all the goods that come from Asia have to come through California? Why would you just give up that part of your country? You don't want to do that, okay? You want to stay and fight. And there's another point that I said the other day, and I meant it, and I looked it up, and it's actually accurate. There are more conservatives in this state than any other state there are. Just go look at the last election. Mm-hmm. You don't have that many people that believe or think the way you do in your state as there are in this state. Now, I know you're pointing out the weakness and all of the governor is a mess. Sacramento's a mess. We all know that. So is DC, by the way, which runs all of our gig, right? So what are you going to run from America because DC's bad? I'm not trying to call my fellow brother out, but I don't care what state you live in. You live on a piece of this rock. What country you live in, stay, build a community, do something for your community and with your community, and make a better world for your kids without turning and running and hiding. That's what I think about that guy. Anyway, I didn't mean to get, I can't, I'm sorry. He was acting like he was God, and I got it all figured out because everybody should just leave. Okay, all right. Is that an example for your children, or what are you doing exactly? Right. Okay, got it. I know who that dude is now. Right. Can't really count on that guy now. Right. Mm-hmm. Hey, I need you here. Oh, well, it's getting tough. I think I'll get out. It's time for me to get out. It's getting a little tough. Yeah.
My favorite part of living in Florida and working with as many foreigners as we have, Dad, and people who have never been to California, you get the typical, wow, your government's a mess there. And not just because of, liberal or conservatism, it's just been run really poorly for my lifetime. I've used to follow it very, very closely, and it's just a mess. But everything else, pretty darn great. You have the whole variety here in this state,
yes.
Both people and terrain, and whatever you want to do, you can pretty much do it. Some of my very favorite people on the planet live here, and are drawn to it like I am. I lived across the country and drove myself right back, at a great benefit and loss of money and opportunity, and didn't matter because the people that I know are here are worth fighting for. And in this state needs to be a pillar and have that backbone and have that pair that you're talking about. Every single one of us that lives here. And that's, I've been thinking about that a lot. I've tried to not think about politics this year, and really focus on what we're focusing on here. I don't care what side you lean on. I really don't. I don't lean on either anymore. I think it's really important for us all to stop just criticizing one side or the other and start taking some accountability for what actually happens going forward. And I was talking to one of my best friends yesterday, and she just was nailing it. I mean, we were talking about blockchain and we were talking about all this different stuff, and it just boiled down into, I'm the uncle of her kid, like if something happens to them, I'm taking care of that kid, no matter what. Like, and what kind of future do we want for her? And, do we want it to be business as usual? Absolutely not. And even in this process that we're in, and this, another best friend I talked to yesterday, Cody, brought up the analogy of like, we've got to be good at pivoting now, like all of us, now that we have this world that's opening its eyes to decentralization and creating global networks within each other. And there's this great feeling of, now we have all this communication and connectivity that we can talk to people all over the world, and we realize that we're very, very similar. We're starting to build these rafts and these things. We're kind of done with Jekyll Island, and we're like, okay, I survived this, but I'm ready to get on the raft and find the ship and, dry land here and get back home, and where is home in all of us? It's in that change of, this isn't what we wanted. This isn't what we want to see happen to our world. and to the treatment of other people. And the question that my friend asked really was, how do we actually change it going forward? And it's such a good question. That question was predicated on even, let's just take crypto down. Let's just take
Let me
crypto.
interrupt real quick.
Please.
I just think it's really important. And what is it your friend does for a living?
She works in banking. She works in banking.
So she's in banking and she's asking questions to a crypto person.
Yeah. Well, and not even, and what's so cool about our chats is we've kind of challenged each other, but her challenging me is big picture. It's like what you talk about a lot, which is like trying to look at how the system runs and the old legacy. And it's like, okay, Brent, it just keeps recycling the same pattern. We just keep kicking the can down a road and then calling it the can something different. And that's where the question came from, really. That's a great point, Dad. And it's like we all have to have jobs, and I'm sure there will be banks in the future, and there'll be. She works for one that I really like and believe in, and I want to go be a member of in our community. And she's also such a smart person that she's, bothered to understand all of what's coming and have an idea of it. And so I don't have that much to challenge her on that. It just turns into high concept with us. Because she has done her homework and she's let the light bulb come on. And so it's fun. It's fun to have those friends too, that they can bring you back to, I could be in super duper crypto mode, but it's like, okay, say what's happening now, the government's buying it all up, and they're going to turn it into the same old tools to sell back to us. That's what I see happening. If you guys disagree, please disagree. And so as we're acquiring it and we're using it, how are we going to change with that? But then what are all the other things that we're going to change and do differently together in the future? What rafts do we want to build for ourselves here? And you're a huge advocate of that, Dad. You're somebody who's looking at all of that for all of us. You got us into the trusts, and you went down the road for the IDC, and I mean you found the healing community that you and I became a part of. And so it's so fun to be partners and son with somebody who is actually looking for that change. And as I've gotten older and kind of let go of all the programming and the processing and the junk that still gives me panic attacks when I think about all of it and how it's affected this soul, this spirit right here that you're seeing. I'm trying to let all that go, that bias, those ideas. And it's like, how can I get creative with you people right here?
Yeah.
And all ideas are welcome.
Exactly.
Everybody, all ideas are welcome in this group. We should do something. We all got little gifts to give. And when we're in safe financial spots, hopefully now or in the future, we'll be able to do those things in our communities. And that's, I think it's just always the message of the crew and the feeling, we're not anti-human, man. We're not, well, I'm so smart because I moved out of the state. They're a bunch of idiots. I'm done with all that. I'm done with it. And clearly you are too, Dad. That's not who I am.
Getting us anywhere.
Nowhere.
And the other thing too about I gotta reflect on the question. The question is essentially, well, how is crypto any different if the governments are just buying it all up? And like, first of all, in particular with Bitcoin, that's impossible for them to do, right? Like, like virtually impossible. But it could happen eventually. But if you really look at the situation, what they're really doing is trying to self-preserve. They're in preservation mode now. They're not like in, I'm going to capitalize, I'm going to gain it all and then capitalize and control the world with it. They're trying to catch up. And that's pretty obvious if you understand the math and how big certain people are and certain organizations and how much crypto, or in particular Bitcoin, how much they own. See, what I'm encouraged by is the person that's buying the most Bitcoin, and I'm talking about owning the Bitcoin. I'm not talking about what BlackRock does. BlackRock does not own their Bitcoin. They're buying it for their clients, right? Mm-hmm. And that's, everybody says, oh, well, BlackRock owns all these coins. Well, no, they don't. No, that's not how it works. You know, that's like saying Fidelity owns all the stocks. No, their clients own all this stock, right? Mm-hmm. But so the diversification of it and the decentralization of it is what's going to help mankind. That's what people from the traditional banking side can't understand. It's like, well, you guys control the US dollar digit. The digit is the problem, right? Like we're cooking with a whole new flame now. We're not cooking with old. They still try and solve all the problems using the old broken wheel. They're trying to put new, attachments on something that doesn't work any longer. We've created a whole new wheel and then said, well, the people that are going to own this wheel are going to be the people that are going to go forward and succeed. Well, the beautiful thing, whether you like Michael Saylor or not, he will be the future of banking. How do I know that? Because he owns the collateral. He owns the future collateral of the world. And when he gets to decide the banking rules, because he owns all the chips, then you make real change. You're not just making Band-Aid change. I don't know if you guys heard this, but this blew my mind. Bitcoin last year surpassed any other bank in transaction volume.
Wow.
It's the number one transactional currency in the world. As far as banking. Now, when you wrap your head around that and you say, well, okay, well, just B of A is going to own it all or whoever, right? No, they can't, right? And then there's companies who actually like Bitcoin for the properties that it has, such as MicroStrategy. And he says, no, I want to make a different world. And here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to leverage a bunch of money, and I'm going to get all of you people that print the money to print a bunch of money, more digits of useless digits, and I'm going to buy my real digits with it, the future digit. And that's what they're allowing him to do right now. They're walking right into the flame, if you will. They're walking right into the firewalk. I mean, they just are walking dead into, he's getting them to create fake digits to inflate the value of his real product. That's not going to end well for them. That is absolutely, and nation states are starting to figure it out. I think we're up to 14 states now that want to hold it on their books. Now, let me answer that part of the question real quick. Owning crypto, or Bitcoin in this case, on your books does not mean that you're going to hold it over your citizens and play puppeteer. No, it's in reserve. It's a reserve asset. It's a collateralized. It's how we keep our state relevant financially, potentially, if this becomes the reserve currency of the world. It's like digging gold out of the ground, and instead of selling it to China, you actually retain it in your community. You keep those assets within your community. That's what buying that means. It doesn't mean control over your people. And that's the whole decentralized Web3 angle that a lot of people can't wrap their head around yet.
Mhm.
And it's hard for, because you and I live in that world now. In my head, that's how I think now. But when I hear people ask me those kind of questions, I'm like, well, I don't even know where to begin to start. This has been an 8-year process for me.
Yeah.
It's very, because people who live in the legacy system judge everything by the system they live in every day. We all do that. It's impossible for them not to, right? Yeah. It's very complicated to explain to them how that could work for mankind. For number one, let's put it this way. If you based an entire country on Bitcoin, I'm just going to use Bitcoin, but on any crypto of your choice, you could not build an army. That's right. You couldn't build an army. Well, why?
True.
Well, because as soon as you spent all your Bitcoin on building the army, you would be broke. You'd have this big army. Then what? You got to go take everybody else's Bitcoin. Like, how are you going to do that? You're going to go broke because it's a limited resource. That's what happened to the US dollar when it was backed by gold in 1971, is we went over and bombed Vietnam to the point where France went, wait a minute, how can you afford all these bombs? That's just ridiculous. You can't do that on an honest gold monetary system over there, US. We want to make sure you got all that gold you say you do that's backing all these dollars you're spending on these missiles blowing things up. We don't believe you. They got called out. Going back to something like that creates the better planet that everybody would like to see, because you can't just out of willy-nilly print money. Like I was talking to Cody yesterday, you can't just fund, research for one-legged chimpanzees in the Congo of hundreds of billions of dollars that you're printing. Like, you have to actually spend money logically for the people. You can't just willy-nilly create money and just do stupid research. So it brings honesty in many levels. But to explain that to people who still live in the fake monetary system, it's very complicated. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you say, Dad, as it progresses, right? We know the finite nature of coins and tokens and how blockchains work. Is that change in that thing that we have to kind of stay steadfast to, like not allowing it to be leveraged? Obviously, there are processes and ways that we all are already learning how to kind of expand upon what we have and leverage it. But as far as the old system and governments and corporations and all that, like, is that the tipping point that we have to, it's like, hey man, no, this system, this new wheel was only meant to have this. We need to have all this in reserve. We can't allow that to be leveraged like the dollar was in the 70s and things like that. Is that something that you think about for that? Or is that going to kind of continue and progress the way that it has? Because the nature of open heart.
Yeah, it will progress. That's already starting right now. A lot of people don't know that, but there's DeFi on Bitcoin now. In fact, it's going to run through Cardano, which is really interesting. But you're going to be able to DeFi your Bitcoin. So in other words, you can leverage now going forward. That's great. There's no problem with leveraging something because somebody's getting paid and we need it to further and get in for prosperity. We need that. It's when you, the biggest problem that we have going right, there's many different problems, but there's no accountability. And the accountability problem really gets accurate when you have something like a limited source of something. The other problem we have is when you have no reserve capitals. Like when a bank holds 10% of what they loan out, you've created 90% more Bitcoin than you own. There's where the problem runs into. There's no problem with paying somebody interest for borrowing somebody's value. That's fine. But when you start getting into derivatives and this one's borrowed against that one and this one and that one and this one and they only pay the interest back and the principal never gets paid back, that's when the system gets wonky and it's really a mess. These reserve assets are just at a minimum right now. And we need to get back to it. I know they're trying to turn it all back around. And I know Trump's team's trying to pull that off. And I know they're going to do their best. But you need to be able to use more money today than you currently have to build. Yeah, that's progress. We need to be able to do that to some degree. It's like you and I have spent a ton of money on this Vegas show. This in May, a lot of money, and we don't know if it's even going to be successful for us or anything else. We're way out of pocket on it.
Yeah,
but I needed to get that capital from somewhere so you could leverage your crypto in that sense and then pay it back off. Yeah,
gotcha.
I think it'll work. Yeah, I know it'll work. It just can't. Your reserve assets have to be honest, and we're not. We don't have an honest asset. The dollar is not honest, and I know everybody in this chat knows that.
Yeah,
there's no honesty in a dollar anymore.
Federal Reserve debt notes, Dad. That's as good as money. Those are IOUs, my friend.
It's absurd. And
it is.
I tell people, I hear people tell me all the time, "Oh, Alan, you should just have a lot of cash." I'm like, like Warren Buffett does. I'm like, right. That's he's losing 70% a year.
Yeah.
He's losing 70% a year to Bitcoin.
Yeah, just think about the devaluation of the dollar in the last 15 years. Like how much?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Cash only? Like what?
Yeah. I saw a comment here, and it's actually true. Viking Cat said Chinese still control most of the mining. That's true. The reason why is because they make the computers. They actually make the ant miners, and they run them before they sell them. That's true. That's a fact. Currently, I'm going to tell you right now, this next regime of America, they're going to pump oil out of the ground and produce electricity to the magnitude that you can't even wrap your mind around. I'm talking about nuclear power and all the rest of it to run miners. Look it up. And they're going to mine that coin, and they're going to mine other coins. And I know not everybody believes in mining crypto, and I get all that, but let me tell you, it's one of the few, I should say, one of the few honest expenditures of money that a government can do that is actually worth doing. In other words, you can create a water system for your people, electrical system for your people, so they have food and water, right? You can mine gold, because gold still has, on a global scale, value. And the other one that's creeping up really fast on that chart is Bitcoin. And it's coming. And nations are buying it around the world. And if you don't understand the significance of that, I had to have this explained. I explained this to a person the other day. I said, listen, I don't care whether or not you like Bitcoin. It doesn't matter to me. I prefer silver over gold. Does that mean that it's worth more? No, gold's worth more than silver. It just is. Okay. You just have to deal with what is. And what is nations are buying Bitcoin. So I asked him, how many Satoshis do you own? Bone got quiet. So nations around the world are buying this thing that you own nothing of. That's right, Alan, because it's a scam and it's a Trojan horse and the XRP is going to rule the world and Bitcoin's going zero. Okay. But it cost you $1,000 to own 1 million Satoshis. Please. People around the world are buying Satoshis today. They can't afford $100,000. So that's the new coin, is the Satoshi. If you're anywhere in the world, you can't afford a Bitcoin. So we need to stop thinking in terms of Bitcoin and start thinking in terms of Satoshis. And if you don't own 1 million of them, I don't know what you're doing. Because what's $1,000 in your life? Maybe some of you that's a lot of money. But is it going to break you for life if it goes to zero? No. But what else are you buying in your whole lifetime that countries are buying? Ever in your lifetime? Nothing is the answer to that. You've never bought anything in your whole life. In fact, your grandfather's lifetime that countries bought. Ever. It's an opportunity that's so unique, I can't even wrap my own head around it. I'm just saying.
We've been trying out it for years.
The new gun, the new global war is Bitcoin, guys. I'm just, what's his name? God. What's that military kid that wrote the great book? Somebody put it in the chat.
Which one?
Lawrence. Nathan Lawrence. No. Anyway, he wrote an incredible book about Bitcoin. Yeah.
What is a Satoshi, Father?
Man, what are Satoshis?
I love you guys. Also feel that some people don't energetically align with Bitcoin's energy signature, which is also okay. Totally feel that.
Right. Yeah. That's right.
And there's a lot of news we all don't like about it. A lot. But I do like your point, Dad, in that it, when we're all looking and hoping for a decentralized ecosystem to thrive that we can all kind of take a part in, it's that front runner. It's number one transactions, right? So it behooves one to look at it and or potentially invest in it.
I think it broke $20 trillion in 2024 traded. And I know it takes 3 to 5 minutes for a transaction. Oh, dude, it's so slow. That's comical, man. I hear that one a lot. I'm like, whatever. Okay, you need everything. You need everything done in 3 seconds. Okay. All right.
Hey, Evan, thanks for the love, man. Thanks for the love. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, my father did a bang up job on me, not patting my back here at all. It was I was talking to a good friend of mine this week. We were hanging out and we were talking about soulmates. And of all the people in my life that fits that description is my father. I mean, I can't think of number 2 right now. Because he gets me into so much crap, that is just it's so fun and exciting to us, right? It's trying to heal ourselves and heal other people. It's working on yachts in different places in the world. It's fly fishing with Steve Osterman. We've been in some really cool stuff together, and we really are the people we talk about being on here. I am only trying to become a better man in my life, and strike that, a better person. And that's really the key. I think that's the balance in the sexes and all the divisions in that are discussed today. Is how do you become a better person, and then beyond that, how do you become a better being? When you really get simple, when you really boil it down, how do you become a better being in this world?
That's right. Yeah. It's so true. Jason Lowry is his name, and he works on, I forgot what it's called, Star Defense, the U.S. defense system in space. I believe he's a colonel. I'm not sure about that. And he wrote a book, I want to say 3-4 years ago now, called Soft War. And he's a military strategist. That's what he does, right? That's his strategy and he wraps his head around Bitcoin in a manner, in a strategic defense. And basically the last chapter of the book is about, they don't have a choice. They have to own it. Militarily, they have to own this. And it was like really heavy when it came out. And then basically the government told him to shut up, and he quit doing interviews for the last 2 or 3 years. You haven't been able to find him anywhere. So they got to him and said, who let that kid write that book? Right? So anyway, a brilliant young man. If you ever get to hear an interview from him, it's really good. And he just lays it out in a sense of, look, this is math, people. This is code and math. And you can deal with that or not, but no army is going to defeat it. You can't defeat it. You can't bring them into court or capture or kidnap their children. There's nothing you can do about it other than play the game, Yeah. And they're all learning that. And Warren Buffett will figure that out one day, or maybe not.
Hey, Dad, we got to get to this. Is this our first donation right here ever? I think this is our first dono, folks.
It's definitely, yeah.
Preacher, that is most generous of you.
And honestly, it couldn't come from a better man, by the way. He and I have had some discussions on the phone. Really incredible human being. And wow, thank you so much. We don't really promote that on this show, but hey, why not?
Yeah, right.
Thank
you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That was very generous and very kind. And didn't even ask a question. Just
just love you. Just sending the love, man. We love you too.
Yeah.
Yes, I am, Frankie. Yes, I am. I got an open-minded father. I got a father who didn't want to be like the father that he had. My dad wanted to change things in a big way. And I've never seen him ever stop being who Alan was and ever stop chasing after his visions in his life. And that's something that you can look up to as a child. That's something that you can be like, wow, man, my old man did it his way and he's still doing it. And I love it. I love the life that you've created, man. I talk about you all the time. You all the time, Dad. I tell crazy stories. Usually it's you've gotten into so many adventures and things because of that. But
Yeah.
we've gotten into it's not crap, man. It is so much good stuff. Crap is our sense of humor coming out.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Brent. I really appreciate that. I'm
It's
well,
true.
you're a chip off the old block, so I mean, you're going to be like I've told you pretty much your whole life. If I told you this once, I told you a dozen times. You're already a better man than I was at your age. So I can only imagine where you're going to be and who you're going to be and what you're going to do and help people be. And that's it's an incredible place to stand and watch your son grow and be a great human being.
Yeah.
He and I are not financial geniuses. We don't have the whole world figured out. We don't always do the smartest and best things, but we love our fellow man. And there's nothing more important than that. Like nothing. So
No.
you've always been that person. You didn't learn that from your dad. You were always that guy.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. Born that way.
Yeah. It helps to have people around you that coax it and that you can always exchange with. That's where we were blessed. That's, why I came back
That's
to your
right.
kid.
Yeah.
I needed that kind of, push. I needed that kind of person to play catch with. And I hope you all have that. And if you do or don't, if you do, be a good listener and go call that person today and play catch with them. I double dare you on that. And if you don't, get my phone number because I'll go there with you.
Yeah.
I'll go there with you. Yeah,
Right.
that's who I'm becoming. I'm my dad is really bringing it home for us here on the channel, and I know who I'm becoming in it is going to be that one-on-one that wants to hit all the bases with people. Be the empath and the healer. Be the listener, and if you need some advice or some love, I'm here for it. I don't have anything more important to do than that.
Yeah.
Mighty Tone. Whoa,
Mighty
they're just
Tone.
rolling in. They're just rolling in.
Now they're just rolling in.
Easy, everybody. Easy. Like, get your bags together. Get your bags right. Well, I'm sure you can spin it even more wisely than Alan and I can. But it is so appreciated, Mighty Tone. Thank you.
No, I appreciate you, brother. We actually have. If I told you the outlay of cash that Brent and I have spent on this XRP show in Vegas would blow your mind. You'd be like, "No way! It costs how much?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, well, it was a good idea up until I saw what it costs," and I'm like, "Uh-oh." But anyway, it'll be fun. Yeah.
Yeah. You all are worth it.
Yeah. No, that's right.
The opportunity to build community when we're together. Like I see David here in the chat. Like David was just at my house a couple months ago, and man, I just wanted to listen to him. I just wanted to ask him questions and listen to him, and it was just an amazing time. Like he's always. I just texted him recently. He's always welcome to be here and bring his family, and I want to know you.
Becky, yes. This question, I just got this one the other day. I do. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, don't they already do that in Europe? I'm not sure, but I believe they do, Becky. Yeah.
Medico.
It's I think they do. But anyway, yeah, I know since they bought that company, they're like really going crazy. I don't know if anybody saw this. It kind of flew under the radar. Tether just bought almost $1 billion of Bitcoin last week. And I know there's still people throwing Tether under the bus, but Tether also bought a large percentage of Rumble, and they want to promote freedom of speech in Rumble. And I'm a big fan of the CEO of Tether. I've said many times before in the show and others, at least he's not Circle. Say that, take that for what that's worth. But I just want everybody also to remember that stable coins are not decentralized. Period. End of mic drop. And anybody tells you that RLUSD is decentralized is lying to you. Okay? They haven't done their research. They don't know what they're talking about. Because by definition, a stable coin is centralized. It gets created by someone. That's a central entity. It is not just code creating it. That's a human being who has control to make it stop or make your account stop. Okay? Remember that. That's really important, guys. Because if you start doing something, I don't know, you donated, like who was it, the pregnant lady in Canada that donated $50 to the truckers' Freedom March, and they shut her down. You remember that? They shut that lady's life off. And it was like, whoa, wait a minute here. That's what stablecoins can do. So remember, you need a stablecoin to be a pirate. You don't need them to be a centralized government. You need them to be on the out. You want them in the black market. Put it that way. Have you guys ever noticed that throughout the history of man, like if you ever really want to get something done or get a fair trade done, you go to the flea market. You go to the black market. Like anybody that's ever lived in Argentina in the last 50 years. You don't go use their, I forgot what it's called, peso or whatever it is. You don't use their currency. You go to the black market and exchange goods. That's the real market. That's the market you want to play in. The one that is on the gray area on the outskirts of town. That one is how you get a fair deal. That's what I want crypto to be. I don't want crypto to be the system. I don't want the system. I don't want the rules. I don't want the regulations. I don't want any of that. I want you and I with a phone and hopefully with a Starlink connection and be able to do whatever we want to do in whatever country and wherever you live. I don't need rules. Yeah, I don't want it. I don't want it. They've manipulated mankind for too long.
Yeah.
With banking, and I'm done with it. Yeah.
Agree. We got brother Sean in the chat. I'm echoing. I'm gonna turn the main down a tad. All right, Skid Rows. We got brother Sean in the chat. Check out Baron of Beach Street on X, guys. Sean comes to us every week with just huge stuff. Beyond the legend, I just call him the investigator now. And check him out. I know in the chat he's talking about B of A stuff. He just posted about the Mellon family. There's some really interesting stuff in all that, and some ties to XRP. If you're all interested, I still need to do the reading on it, so I don't want to speak out of turn on it at all. But yeah, hit up Sean for sure. Everybody like that little 10% pump XRP got in the last 24 hours? Anybody excited about that?
That was pretty cool.
It's pretty fun. Yeah. Anybody retired yesterday? I'm sure a few people did. I love that.
And I was looking for us to break that trend line, which we did, which is 250. So I think it's going to roll. I mean, unless the entire market loses liquid or investment, then I would say if volumes go down, then we're not going to keep moving. But I think XRB is going to move now because it broke that trend line to the upside and closed above it. So we should be doing good.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's see.
So
SBF, how's Diddy again? That was good. I like that, Brittany.
That was really good.
Yeah.
Can we refer to ourselves as digital scallywags?
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of what it is, Cody. It's kind of what it is.
Yeah. I wish scallywag was 7 letters. Put that on my license plate.
We can abbreviate it. We can figure out that abbreviation real easy. Crew will cook it up for us right here, I'm sure. You had a great point on this on your second to last show, Dad. Do you believe that stable coins will evolve into CBDCs? I guess really, if you could give me, because I kind of understand the differences, obviously, but what's your big difference, for the layman?
Okay. The difference between the okay. CBDC is a representation. Okay. No, let's backtrack. Central banks is the CB and CBDC. Okay. So central banks would create the digits. It's no different than the digit we currently have today. But when you create a stable coin, you've created the digit through a blockchain platform. They're not going to do that. They're going to say they're going to do that. Okay. But that they don't want to do that because, number one, it's going to enable them the ability to do as much of it as they feel like doing without being obvious, or people just going through the blockchain and saying, well, wait a minute, you just printed 2 trillion of those yesterday. That's the other thing. When Tether comes out and says, oh yeah, we just made another billion coins today. Like, you have to admit it because you can't hide it. The other problem with CBDCs is they're digital currencies, but there's no real angle to them. Like, there's nothing, well, you didn't change anything. You've just made more centralized ability over to say, okay, this guy's account is good and that guy's account's bad. They gave them more control. But what it really does, and I want everybody to understand this on a big plane, the one most important thing to understand about a CBDC is central banks are here. The banking institutions are here, and you're down here. Currently, the banks create the money, right? That the central banks loan and bond, okay? They buy and create money, and they give the money to you. CBDC would eliminate middleman, bank, and go directly from whoever you would like to call those people, okay, at the top, central bankers, right? The creatures from the Jekyll Island, okay, directly deciding how much money the little guy gets without having to go through the bank. You think you're eliminating a middleman, but you're really, it's almost worse than that, because they can make the economy go or stop at will with a flip of a switch.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, that's what all that is. Yeah. So anyway, that in a layman's terms.
Yeah. You made great points on it on your last show, Dad. Thank you for digging back in.
Neither one of them are good for mankind. And I shouldn't say that. I like stable coins. I do.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't need them. somebody in an economy that has high inflation and they want to take their check and put it into a stable coin, and that stable coin represent a US dollar, they need stable coins. Okay. That's the smartest financial thing they can do at the moment. They can get out of their, I don't know, bots or whatever there are, Vietnamese bot or whatever it might be that's inflating overnight. They can get into a thing that's just equivalent to a US dollar that is not inflating at the rate that their own currency is. That makes sense. Okay. For an American, stablecoin is nothing more than getting in and out of a crypto trade. It doesn't do you any good to have millions of dollars. Like I had a lot of people ask me, Alan, RLUSDs about the launch. How many of them should I buy? And I'm like, you don't understand. That's like buying dollars. Why would you buy a dollar? What are you doing? No, it's not an investment. It's in its equivalency of a dollar. Yeah. It's really hard to explain. Some people really need the equivalency of a dollar around the world, but you and I don't. And there's also another big misnomer. We don't need stable coins to buy cryptocurrencies. We don't need that. The reason why we use that is because the banks were playing bad baseball, if you will. They were not allowing us to do what we needed to do. So therefore, we had to either go to Coinbase or we had to go use a stable coin. Okay. That's why that whole thing got created, right? But now that potentially, hopefully, one day down the road, we're going to have banking institutions that actually say, yes, you can purchase crypto here. You can put a certain amount of your bank account into XRP or whatever it might be. Then we won't need it. Oh, before I lose this one, I hope everyone goes out and researches the redacted statements from the FDIC documents that Coinbase held these people and they said, nope, I'm fighting this. Coinbase did a beautiful job, by the way, their attorneys. They went to the judge and they said, Judge, look at the documents they gave us. And it was 80% redacted. And then their defense was, well, there's personal information and all that redacted information. That's why we blacked it all out. And the judge went, yeah, I'm not buying that. I want to know what all that says. In fact, I want it publicly posted. Boom. All of it said, essentially, we can't allow crypto to succeed because it's going to ruin our banking system. Essentially, that's what it said. Now, I'm paraphrasing, obviously. There's a lot to read. I read about 40 pages of it 2 or 3 days ago. You can find it out there. Somebody sent me the link, so I do have the link, but I was just like, oh my God. You and I, the owners of crypto, are about to succeed in a level that you've never understood, because now that kind of information is coming out that your government, by the way, people gave me a hard time for calling her Janet Fallon. Like, that lady runs the FDIC. I know it's not her job title, but essentially that's what she does. Okay. And that lady has said, this bank gets to win, that bank has to lose. And all of the banks that lost were all big into crypto. Look it up. Signature Bank. I mean, all of it. Silicon Valley Bank. Those banks were big into crypto and they had to lose. We get to protect all of the guys on our team. Well, now all these documents are coming out that they have lied to the system, to the world, to everybody. And we all know that the system is better off using these coins than their fraudulent dollars. And the world's figuring that out. And you and I own these products. And I'm telling you, our future is so bright. It's unbelievable. And now judges are finally striking the gavel in our favor and saying, no, we need to see what that said. The public needs to know. And I think with this new government coming in, I wouldn't want to be in their shoes because it's becoming blatantly obvious to me that they have held us back so bad intentionally, which I knew. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I remember telling this story. It was 2017. I was driving across the border. I used to live in Mexico. I was driving across the border, and on the radio it said, you can no longer buy crypto with credit cards. And the moment I heard that, I went, bingo, done deal. Most people are like, oh my God, I can't buy crypto with, instantly I knew this was the silver bullet to that vampire system. That's what I knew. That I knew right then this was kryptonite for them. And it's done nothing but be proven us all correct over the years. Sorry, didn't mean to ramble on, but
no, please ramble, Dad. That was excellent.
All these super chats.
Yeah, what are you guys doing here? We'll start blushing.
Trying to make an old man blush here.
Yeah. Preacher, Alan kept us grounded with great commitment and sense over the last few years now. XRP is on fire. Thank you for everything. Thank you, Preacher. Evan, you should have really heavy gold bars in cash.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you, right?
What's the legal term for confiscating your cash? Asset forfeiture.
Asset forfeiture.
That was you've got a briefcase full of cash. That's an asset forfeiture. We're gonna steal your cash, dude.
And until you can prove where you got it. On this airplane. You can't bring those on this airplane.
Yeah, and all the cops up by the roadside are like, here's a thou for you and a thou for you. Oh, we lost that in evidence room. We don't know where that went. What a scam, man. Stealing people's cash. Just think about that. Yeah, Carrie, absolute blatant theft.
Carrie, I'm so glad you made it too.
Carrie, yeah.
Thievery. Absolute systematic thievery.
No stress.
Lying. No middlemans. Yeah, that's an interesting thing to your point, Dad. It's like when is middleman good? When is middleman bad? We're about to find out. Our system is shifting in ways that's going to be a big question. And us owning cryptos feels like a really strong stance to creating the good in making us the middleman, which I love. That's why I love being in this.
Yeah, me too. What I like the most about crypto, the people. When we started this YouTube channel, Brent, did you ever think that we were going to meet the kind of people that we've met and the friends that we've created and the family we've built? I mean, I didn't expect it. It really caught me off guard. I was like,
it's so fun right now to just sit here and read your comments, everybody. I'm glad that you have each other. You know, it's like we're tickled, but we're tickled for you to see the connections that you've made together. That's how close we're getting with you and you with us. And I knew we were going to be those people in it, Dad. we're going to be the people that actually talk to our people. And even if this thing blows up on us someday, I don't see that ever changing at all. And it's cool to have the ones, old friends. I'm excited to be in it with this group for my life.
Yeah.
Luke, get some coffees on me, boys. I like it. Thank you.
Thanks, Luke. Appreciate it. Man, you guys keep just dropping them. Look at Solar Sammy here.
This is getting heavy, man. You guys
getting out of control on us here. Sammy's going to be with us poolside, dinner side, all of it in Vegas. He's bringing the wife and daughter, I believe. The wife for sure. I don't remember if he's bringing the daughter. But yeah, this is oops.
Let me get to Sam's here, and we'll get to Chris.
Yeah. Okay. Sammy, to those of you who don't know, obviously he works in solar, but he's helped me out so much with my solar system and everything else. And it's just another, like, how do I put it? Member of the family that, like, Elizabeth now, she'll be like, well, you're having a solar problem. Why don't you just call Sam? Like I'm having an HVAC problem. What I always call the outdoor boys. It's just like I now we have this community, and I'll turn people on. I've turned Joanna on to Solar Sam. Her needs were just a little bit less than some, but like it's becoming this network of people, and it's really fun and exciting to everybody be prosper from each other in a way that's really cool. And Sammy is one of those great fathers. Like, we were all sitting there, a bunch of guys, and we're all sitting there having a great time. We had a meetup in Florida, and he was hanging out with us, and he goes, hey, you know what, guys, I've got to roll. And we're like, oh man, where are you going? I got to go spend some time with my wife and my daughter. And we were just I was looking at him like, see, that's why I love that guy. That's the dude right there, man. Like, he cares about his family and his kids and his people. And by the way, he cares about all of you because we're all in the same family.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
Chris, as a recently retired 40-year firefighter of California, thank you. Both of your sensible, kind words instead of the old, tired, ugly political bull. Just join your Patreon. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for your service, Chris. I was a EMT and a medic in California, and I for a while I wanted to do what you do, but I also appreciated how tough it is and went another way because I had that much respect for it. Is really what it came down to, and I needed to do different things. I had different abilities and gifts. And to have that one, to be a firefighter in California is the real deal, folks. That is the real deal. Big fires. It's our firefighters respond all over the place. I know I have friends here who are firefighters and went to my hometown 7 hours away over the weekend, and it's amazing what you guys do.
The other thing that you'll notice, like, firefighters are really good about the fact that they'll come from anywhere. They just, as soon as they hear there's a fire on the other side of the country, they just get in their trucks. We're going. It's not like, hey, and the other guys that stay behind and take care of the town they're in, the rest of them just we're gone. I'm sorry, honey, I'm leaving. I'm done. I've told this story before. I should have been a fireman. I wanted to be a fireman my whole life, and I guess every little kid kind of did. A lot of kids did anyway when I grew up as a kid. But there was a little thing called affirmative action in the state of California back then. and I was, of the wrong descent.
Yeah.
I'm not blaming it on that, but back then that was a real deal. That was a
It,
real
it,
deal.
it was the
It was
real
a bit
deal
of a bummer.
in my lifetime too. It was such a, that's the other side of what I didn't say. It was such a hurdle to become that. Not only is, because of my descent, but also my size, to get into the fire service. And you know what I've heard, Dad? I talked to Greg Mowat on my 20-year reunion. Yeah, Mowat. And
Yeah.
I want to say he's a captain in San Diego now. And
Oh, wow.
he said that's all changing. That's all. There's such a need for it now that people are getting on. And it was
Yeah.
very difficult to do in both of our lifetimes.
Yeah.
In California. Very tough to become a firefighter. You got to be a solid human being with a good background and education and all of it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Robert, man, always glad you do. Always glad to see you, Robert.
Robert Driscoll is always in the chat. All right. Head case. Man, look what's going on. What's going on with the super chats?
You guys, it's blushing time. God
awesome.
bless the journey. Thank you for organizing this weekly chat. Thank you.
Thank you,
Brittany. Thank you for being my friend too and sending me cool stuff and connecting. That's my favorite thing about all this. It really is.
You guys are going to hang out
really
one day.
Glad to know you, sis.
Brittany's going to be, I'm going to be meeting up with a few people. But I've got a meetup in May in San Diego planned. Early May, because late May we're going to be in Vegas. Early May. So I'll talk more about that later, but in San Diego, I'm going to meet up with a bunch of people. Well, it's up to 6 or 8 now anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure there'll be more.
There you go, Dad.
Nice. Yeah.
I've actually heard my father sing that to me before.
Ramble on.
Uh-huh.
Ramble on. I thought that was a Zeppelin song. What do we got? Listening from my job. Greeting from Netherlands. Yeah, nice. And we got all kinds of people in here tonight, Brent. This morning, where we live.
Do. We got
the
Cisco Kid. We got the Lion, Carrie and Doreen. Thank you all for being here, Muddy. Yeah, asset clearance. Watch out. We shouldn't even use terms like that in here. We don't want to manifest something here.
I have to address this question. This one right here. I do not think I'm going to be in Asheville now. I had to push my whole schedule just to even go to the Florida thing, and then now I've got to change that, and I'm like, I'm starting to think now that I'm not going to be able to go to Asheville. And I'm also getting a lot of people reaching out from Los Angeles, as you might imagine, that could use our help as well. There's a particular lady that lives in Malibu that's been reaching out to me. I know 2 ladies in Malibu. I know a few people in Camarillo as well, but she's reaching out saying there's food banks that are the weirdest things happening, guys. This sounds crazy, right? In Los Angeles, so many people have lost their homes and I was just going to put it like this: taxpayers and people that have lost their homes have nowhere to go, but the homeless have shelters. It's like this weird dichotomy there right now, and it's just a real mess. And now I'm hearing the winds are about to pick up again tomorrow, and I'm like, uh-oh, this is not good at all.
No.
So yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't be everywhere to all people. And I also understand that I think I'm doing more good being here. That's what I'm understanding about social media, is me going there and with a chainsaw in my hand for a day or 5 is one thing. But on social media, you can affect a whole lot more people's lives by getting hundreds, if not thousands of people to think about something altogether at the same time on a spiritual level and a vibrational level and a universal level. I know its power. Okay. I know its power. So I'm probably not going to be there, Denise. I'm just putting that out there now. And yeah, I have to have that awkward conversation with Miss Wright, but anyway.
Yeah. I like your point on that, Dad. We discussed it, and where you're at in your life right now, you can create more advantage what you're doing. And us working with her in this way, and it can't always just be about your physical body lifting a hammer.
Yeah.
You have a real opportunity to give them, financing and communications and people that can help, that are going to be better and more available than we are. So
yeah,
not forgotten. We'll keep working on it.
Yeah,
it's okay. Can't go to Asheville. Recommit to what we can do.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Head case. Love the name. I'm a 43-year-old with an 8-month-old boy, and you guys inspire me to be the best father possible. It's that's the highest compliment. Man, I love that. Love. Hope I have the chance to be a older dad. I'm open to that possibility.
You're going to be a great dad, Brent.
Yeah.
Any kid.
It sounds like you already are, brother. Head case, much love to you, man.
Yeah.
Pinky,
you're going to be a great dad.
Not as good a today
grandfather as I'm going to be, but you're going to be a good dad.
Yeah.
I can't wait to be a grandpa.
That is true.
That's going to be too much fun. Crawfish 11. Did you catch that one, Brent?
Holy smokes. 11. Boom.
Okay, no more of those. They're distracting.
Yeah. We gotta cook, and we don't want anybody's, if we ever skip over one, guys, or anything like that. We want to shout you out always. But the chat's also for all of you, and we don't want anybody to feel left out. We really don't.
No.
Luke, I'm all for a crew Discord. It's getting harder and harder for Al and I to do that. And it's not right to put it on our assistant. A lot of this needs to be our voice, and we're already being torn in so many different directions that, what I've told my dad and what I've told our assistant is that narrowing back in to what we're doing, do it well, hit as many comments as we can, and really commit to doing this live show. There's been times where it was like, man, are we too busy even for this? And this just keeps turning up to be our favorite show. And so, so needed to talk to you guys and be with you. And I'm going to try to really get good about the Patreon comments. My dad really attacks the emails. And we want to talk to you guys on the phone.
We do.
We're social media guys, but we're not social media guys, if that makes sense. So Discord with us, I maybe someday, but that's going to be a real stretch. This would have to be our full-time jobs. And when that day comes, yeah, we'll check into it for everybody.
This is a very real statement right here. And it's, you guys don't really understand how true that statement is. There was somebody else earlier said, you need a clone. It, if you believe in the quality of life the way I do, you have your own interests and you do things and you want to do things, but your love and your compassion for your fellow man becomes an obligation to you. And then it becomes, and I'm not going to call it a burden. It's not at all. I love talking to people, but the next thing I know, my day is gone. And I'm like, wow, that was cool. I got to communicate with all these people during the day. And I think I'm helping people and changing their financial futures, which I know I am, because I've already done that with so many people. But it's also, did I get to walk the dogs? Did I go on a hike? Did I do the things that makes my soul good? And so there's a lot to all that. And I'm with Brent on that. I really think we should keep the Discord probably not happening. He and I don't even get on Twitter the way we should. And
yeah, very close people. Like if any of you have channels, have pages, make sure and text us and send it to us. We'll like it. We'll repost it. There was a time that I was really good about writing comments on there. And that will come back. Twitter's important. Not just for our channel, but for our community. And so I'm glad you brought that up, Dad. I'm going to focus in on that again.
It's somebody, Cisco Kid said something here that's really important. We have a devoted crew. We really do. I mean, I know other channels have devoted following, but there's a couple of thousand of you that are just like, I mean, there's 100 that don't miss this live stream every Sunday. But that means more to me than anything else. I don't care about much else. And that's the problem, right? It's like, I just want to focus on you guys, and it's really cool and it's exciting, but it's like I start looking around and I'm not getting this done or that done or my other things done. But so more meetups, I think, and just keeping the live stream rolling is really what I like. And then the phone calls with everybody. I'm not a Discord guy. I find that I end up staring at my phone all day. Yeah.
I asked everybody to be creative today, and this is it. Of course, my other soulmate, my dear code man would think of it. Fans of the Staple Crew Discord, if you guys want to create it, if you want to do it to be able to discuss with each other, that's something that we can look into creating. That's the big idea on that. It's just having us in there consistently and responding to it would be such a pull that we're already being pulled a lot. For all of you to communicate with each other. Exactly. I mean, I'm glad y'all got into that. That's the high concept thought on Discord. Doesn't have to be Brent and Allen in there talking, but having a spot for you guys. Maybe somebody's passionate about spearheading it. Come to us, and we can work on that.
World Be Free brings up a great point. Gosh, I think her name is Melissa or something like that. Yeah, anyway, so. She brings up a great point there. It's really for people in the Staple Crew family to get more acquainted with each other and share each other, because it's really hard for somebody to get to me and then I go, oh, you need solar, then you go to see Sammy. You know what I mean? It's it is good that way, and I think she's right. So maybe I don't know, Cody, if you want to get that ball rolling, we could probably get behind something like that for sure. and then get you directly working with maybe Joanna and myself and Brent. We could maybe make that happen. Also, World Be Free is in house. We're going to bring that up while she's here. We are having, to all the people that are going to be going to Vegas or thinking about going to Vegas, the Thursday night before the show, we are going to have a party. And it's just a get together. It's not really, hey, rolling drunk and the band plays all night. It's really the night before the show, and it's just really a gathering, a get together. And the list of YouTube channel content providers and people, influencers in the XRP community that you would know is growing massively and quickly. And it was a really good time last year. And I want to say there was, I don't know, 70 or 80 people that went last year, Brent. But we're going to do it with Dave and Judy this year and Dip a Toe group. You know who they are, Mr. Simon and Miss World Be Free there. Those of you who don't know, World Be Free is actually Melissa from Dip a Toe. Yeah.
And we love her a lot.
Yeah. She is a firecracker in the XRP community, to say the least. Let's see. Nice. We got another Julia there. A rampage of appreciation.
Hey, Julia.
Thank you, girl.
Thank you.
Wow, that beach looks familiar. That looks like a SoCal beach. I don't know where that one's coming from, but that's what it looks like.
It does. It looks like Cali.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you, girl. We appreciate you listening and following us. I think Elizabeth and I are going to the park, Brent. So we need to get out of here at some point.
Yeah, hour and a half. Let's get everybody out of here. Enjoying your weekend.
Yeah.
I double dare you to reach out to that soulmate in your life today. Send him a text. Whenever you think about him or a thought pops into your head about him, send him that. Send him whatever that was. Hit him with it. And I'm finding that is the fastest. There's something about when somebody specifically randomly comes into your head and you connect with them in that moment, there's some electricity right there. And I've had some really incredible moments of that in the last couple months. And one of my favorite new habits. So yeah, and so many of you who've become friends of ours do that with us. And I really appreciate that. It really gets us thinking about our community and about you guys. So thank you. Dad?
Dolphin Island, Alabama. That's where that picture is. Oh, cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. A lot of people don't even know Alabama has a beach.
Been there. I've driven right through there.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Add me on Discord. Yeah, okay. Thanks, guys, for showing up every Sunday. Again, this is my favorite hour of the week. Sometimes it's an hour and a half. But I really look forward to talking about the world events with all of you and how you and I can see the world in a better light. And that's kind of what Brent and I do every Sunday morning. And I love it. And thanks for all the super chats. That was amazing. Please don't feel that you need to do that in the future because it was really unexpected.
Yeah. So appreciated. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. If you knew what we did with it.
Have a great rest of your weekend. Have an amazing week. Let's get it this year, folks. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Let's get this. All right, B-Man, we're out.
All right, we're getting out of here.